Strong language is used in this video and on this channel. You have been warned.
Hello, viewers, and welcome back to Captain of Industry. This is episode 7, and when we left off last time, we had just gotten rubber set up, so we're now making rubber. Our next step is we need to set up copper so that we can make our own electronics. Because as you can see on the right here, we have no copper. And that's going to be a serious problem for our maintenance production. So, as we move forward, we're slowly going to build up all of these storages so that things will get a little bit more automated. And the trucks won't necessarily be quite as frantic. They'll be able to slow down a little bit at least, because we'll have bins catching everything instead of having to remove it directly from the sorters. And that'll also give us a little bit more stockpile of things like iron and coal, and generally make life a little bit easier. So, our next major thing we need to do is we need to start mining copper. As you can see, we've got plenty of copper. There is no shortage. So, kind of comes down to where do we actually want to put the mine? And with our factory being right here for the moment, we kind of want it convenient and close. Because this is a pretty big map, and we don't want our trucks driving any more than they have to. We saw what kind of headache it was moving everything from the colony all the way down here, all the way up to the factory. So we want to minimize our transport time as much as possible. All these trees are eventually going to go away, so we're not going to stress those too much. And we're just going to make our entrance to the mine reasonably convenient to the factory. Not necessarily right on top of it, but, somewhere close by. And we actually want to, let's rename this here. Actually want to make our ramp in an area that isn't going to be taking up resources. So this first deposit here is quite a ways below the surface, and I'm not crazy OCD about this where I need to get every last little thing on the map. I know some people are. That's not me. So we're going to back it off a little ways, but what I'm actually targeting is all of this stuff here that's right up at the top that I don't have to dig a long ways down to get. So I don't care if my ramp covers, these things that are, 10, 12 layers down. Yeah, we're going to get that far eventually, but if I want to account to get that, I need to start the ramp like back here where this tree is. And that's a lot of useless dirt that I'm going to have to plow through just so that I can remove a couple of pillars from my map. It's not worth it, in my opinion. If it does become worth it later, we can always go back and extend the ramp. So for the time being, we're going to start the ramp about back here. Well, actually, you know what? We might actually do it a little bit closer. We're going to go down 5 levels, because 5 levels is the most that a retaining wall can retain, because reasons. And we'll just take that, copy it over here, and poof, we've got a mine entrance. I don't know, in fact, I definitely don't have the concrete to build all of that. I do have the iron, but I don't have the concrete. So, let's build the mine tower. Let's take the game off pause also, so that, things will actually happen. And let's go all the way back down here. And I don't have shit for vehicle parts, so I can't build an excavator. Shit. Well, we're going to tell it to build an excavator anyway, even though we're only about halfway there. And let's see if we can find some vehicle parts with the ship, because that'll probably be faster at this point. What are you... I don't think you need to be boosted anymore. That seems excessive. All right. We don't have the materials to make electronics anymore, because as you can see, our rubber and copper storages are empty, so they can go away. Those can go away. And we are now on borrowed time. As you can see, our maintenance is dropping. So we've got a couple of choices here. We can trade construction parts for copper and rubber. We can hope that our ship finds some copper and rubber in its very few islands that it has left that it can get to, that are probably all going to be full of pirates. But the surer route right now would be trading, because we do have kind of an excess of construction parts at the moment. So let's get one batch each of copper and rubber. And I bulldozed my electronics factory like a moron. Well, that wasn't very smart. All right. Clearly did not put enough thought into this. Let's redo shit that was already done. And yep, you're making mechanical parts, you're making electronics. Okay. So our maintenance will continue getting built while we are prospecting for vehicle parts. Now, to make vehicle parts, I believe, is exactly the same recipe as maintenance. Yes, it is mechanical parts and electronics. Is it actually the same ratio? It's a little bit different, but let's, how do I want to do this? Don't really want to build a second factory when it's basically doing the same thing, but given how important maintenance is, I don't want to double task the maintenance factory. Or rather, the factory that is making the pieces for maintenance. So, let us... We're capped out on Unity, so let's just cheat and build these. Try and get this done in a fairly quick manner. Probably should have left a lot of what was already there, but, you know, you live and you learn. And then you continue to fuck shit up anyway. Because that's what we do. So I'm going to crank the speed up, because nobody wants to just sit here and watch the trucks drive around, because that's not interesting. So we did get some rubber, some copper, and some vehicle parts. So we got everything we were looking for in that area, which is fantastic. So now our ship will come back home, it'll refuel. Hopefully we can send it out to those last couple of areas that we can still explore. Oh, I built that factory backwards. And off-center. Wow, that... does this annoy your OCD? Because it annoys mine. If this was a permanent factory, I would be bulldozing that shit and moving it and flipping it. But, as I keep saying, everything down here is temporary. Did you, go faster? You know, like... much faster? Because I know that you're just a simple automated part-making machine, but, you know, I really need an excavator. So if you would spit out some friggin' electronics, that would be great. How are we doing on copper? We are out of copper. Oh, well, let's get some more. We go through copper a lot faster than we go through rubber. Because of the, we're obviously going to go through that about 4 times faster. So, I'm going to let this thing sit here and crank along. And hopefully, how many more vehicle parts do we need? We need 17 more vehicle parts. Still kind of down on maintenance, so I don't want to retask everything right now. Let's see, you need electronics. You're cranking along. Problem is I don't know. Let's upgrade this so we're building electronics even faster. I don't know if one electronics factory is going to be enough to saturate the maintenance need to the point where we can actually get a delivery of electronics over here. Because this still has room right now for another full truckload of electronics. Okay, well, I guess that answers that. Real question is, can this come up with another truckload of electronics before this has room for it? Which, it's going to be close. Well, we're capped out on maintenance, so yay. Now we're making vehicle parts. Fantastic. We still got a little bit of copper. Let's send the ship out, see if we can find some more loot. And we're just waiting on this excavator right now, because realistically, I don't have an excavator to start mining copper, and obviously I need one. So it's all a waiting game right now. Can you also go faster? That would be great. I love having my Unity cap this low because it's so easy to achieve. And these low-level housing, they want nothing. Literally just give them food and they're happy. My offline game, oh my god, they are such a bunch of needy bitches. They bitch about everything. At one point, the different foods that you can provide give you different amounts of Unity as time goes on. Basically, as long as you provide them one thing in each category, you know, you're not gonna get into too much trouble. But if you provide them something, oh, and my excavator's done. So let me stop fucking rabbiting on and do some work. If you provide them something and then they lose it, oh my god, do they get pissed? Why does... Okay, whatever. I'm not going to ask questions. Just, why is that excavator already in the factory zone? Where the bloody hell is my colony? Oh, because this is set to automatically assign to the factory. Okay. That actually makes some level of sense. Build me another truck while you're at it. All right, so once that excavator schleps its ass all the way down here, what are we looking on concrete? We've got some, but not a truly ridiculous amount. So, ideally, in a normal situation, I would start at the front here and work my way back. But I think it's going to take longer to produce this concrete than it's going to take me to mine all the way back here. Granted, I could be somewhat optimistic with this um, because I'm used to mega excavators on my other map that will just chew through this crap in like a couple of scoops. So I want to start with the walls that are more important to hold up, because really this first wall, it's not going to matter much. There's not that much of a height difference that it's going to collapse that much. So I'm now going to starve myself of construction parts like a genius to build retaining walls. Can I don't need to... I don't think I have copper to actually build anything. So let's fix that real quick. Get some more copper. Looks like my ship is where I want it to be. So I sent him to this interim island because I didn't want him to go this way. And I don't trust the ship to be smart enough to realize, oh, there's a bad guy here, I should go the other way. The ship is no smarter than the pickup trucks. They're all frickin' morons. And if there's a dumb path to take, they will find it every time. So it's easier to just micromanage it. So I don't know if we're going to get these retaining walls done by the time it matters, but oh yeah, we've already finished that one, and nothing's really collapsed. Yep, we found another bad guy. So, like I said, these first walls are pretty much just cosmetic. I guess technically I don't really need them. Given how hard up I am for concrete right now, it's probably wiser to save it. So, we are now officially starting our copper mine, which means we also need an ore sorting plant for our copper mine. If I were trying to be thrifty, I could attempt to combine this, but as I said in a earlier video, that doesn't work very well as you get into the later game. It's really easy to exceed the capacity of these small ore sorting plants. Your need for iron will rapidly outstrip the capacity of this plant. My other game, where I'm basically... This morning I was in the process of designing my kind of launch complex for the rockets. So it's significantly more advanced in the game timeline than this is. My copper mine is still using this same ore sorting plant, even with the ridiculous amount of electronics that I'm building. I think I've got 4 or 5 mega excavators feeding it, and it's keeping ahead of my demand for the moment. We have, or I shouldn't say we, since nobody plays it with me. I have not fully gone ham on building Electronics 3 yet in that map. So I'm fully expecting my need for copper to increase as time goes on. Clear out all these yellow dots here because they drive me nuts. So I'm fully expecting that my need for copper is still going to increase, but I'm also at the point where I finally bit the bullet and built more than 4 factories to build construction parts. Because, like I said here, this design, I've used this design for a long damn time. My other map, I want to say, is in year like 1100 maybe, and I still haven't made it to space yet because I move so damn slow. Why are That was totally not what I wanted to do. I am a Muppet. I wanted to retain 120, not only accept 120. $1,100 plus in this game, and I still fuck shit up on the regular. All right, we are starting to get low on people. So we're going to... Let's just unpause that, because the construction parts are right here, so the trucks should be able to handle that. You'd think. In reality, they'll probably fuck it up. But we need 80 construction parts for this. Let's just Unity build that, because we don't want to wait for the trucks to drive the parts all the way down here, and we've got the Unity, so why not use it? Unpause our beacon. We can get some refugees in here a little bit faster. And let's go explore that, because I'm sure that will be different. Totally couldn't be yet another bad guy. That would just be totally unreasonable. Why are you not... Oh, because I kept purchasing rubber from the island like a moron. Well, clearly we have more rubber than I was expecting. Might also need a storage for our iron scrap, since there's nowhere in this logistics zone to use it. I do have the construction parts for it, so will be iron scrap, and we'll export to storage that is probably not set up here. Yep. Fuck a duck. All right, we're gonna have to modify our design here a little bit. Got plenty of iron. That is for damn sure. Build our other storage here. I am still running on crazy fast speed. Oh, right. Do this the fast way. Copy, paste, but export is allowed. Keep empty. Those can go away. And we've got more loot. Hooray. So, unless I'm mistaken, that was the last... Oh, no, we can get to a couple more. These might be too far away to reach with our current fuel tank. We'll give it a shot. But that may be the end of our exploring until we get some ship upgrades. We do have our... We've got a pretty decent amount of construction parts. Have my trucks managed to... Okay, yes. So they do have the capacity to build things. Although, you know what? I have stupid amounts of Unity. Let's just use it. Now, what's the point in hoarding the Unity, right? Everything costs so little at this point. Why not just burn it? And that made a serious dent in our construction parts. But we are now emptying into storages like civilized people instead of savages. Filthy, filthy savages. All right, so now that we still got a decent amount of CP2, so while we're sitting here waiting for our one lonely excavator down here to strike copper, which is going to be a little bit. While we're waiting on that, and since it looks like I can't build another excavator yet, Let's build some conveyor belts. See if I can remember how I did this. Pretty sure you went like that. You went like that. And then I think you went something like this. Yep, because you got to go at least that far. You did one of those. And do one of those. Then like so, like so. And I have to come up to level 2. Stop snapping. And we'll just do one of those. It is not pretty. Do not believe anyone that tells you otherwise. It is not pretty. But it works. Did I set these already? No, I did not. So you will be coal. Keep full on priority 5, which is what I use for smelting. And you will be iron ore. Keep full. Priority 5. And you will be slag. We keep empty on priority 5. And you will also get an export route to dumping control. Yay. All right. So now that our ore sorters are nice and, well, they're not really automated, but they've got a lot more capacity to let the excavators and trucks keep going. Oh, we got refugees. And copper, rubber, and diesel. Yay. Hopefully that will help keep us ahead of our maintenance demand. And it looks like we've got almost enough. If I could remember where my damn colony is. Got almost enough to build another excavator. And we are running suspiciously low on potatoes. Why don't you go back to growing potatoes there? This isn't really low. Like, I mean, obviously, I still have 99 bottles of beer on the wall, or 99 sacks of potatoes on the wall. Obviously, I still have a shit ton of food. No one's in any danger of starving, but this is my visual indicator for how much is in here. So this doesn't tell me anything. This is just a building. I have to click on it. It's annoying. I can just see this as I'm swooping by with the camera. So this is my visual indicator. My colony on my other map, I've got a storage 4 for this that feeds into a giant friggin' tier 3 conveyor belt going into one stupid food market. It's a tier 2 food market, so it holds a little bit more. So on that game, this number is always like chronically low. I think it might be in the 30s now that I'm providing every single type of food known to the game. But that's because it doesn't, even this is not counting the food in these storages. It's only counting the food in the buildings. So the game will yell at me that, oh, you know, your food storage is low, blah, blah, blah. But it's not taking into account the fact that I have 5,000 potatoes in a storage ready to feed into this building, which is slightly problematic because the actual effect is that it makes me ignore the low food warning because I go, oh, I've got plenty of food. And I mean, it hasn't killed anybody yet, but, you know, it'll happen eventually. I have had several massive die-offs on that map, actually. What are you complaining about? Oh, yeah, because it's full of dirt, because that's all you're digging up. Useless fuck. Not that that's going to give him a great deal more options, but, you know, we'll at least pretend that we care. So, how do I want to... We're getting to the point here where I need to start making some decisions about what I'm going to do with these retaining walls. Because with the top levels of the map being all dirt like this, it will collapse very, very easily. You know, you can see here, he's digging a couple of squares away, and this is already starting to collapse. Because dirt has... I don't know what the physics term is. I didn't take physics. I'm going to call it friction, I guess. Dirt has very low friction, so it slides down really easily. Sand is even worse. Ores and stone are higher than dirt, and they'll hold their shape better as you dig through them. But when you're digging through dirt or sand, these retaining... If you care about the area around what you're digging, which this is not super important, I'm basically doing this for the cosmetic look, because I don't want the edges of my terrain near my ramp to look like this, and it'll just look shitty. So if you care either about what it looks like, or actually care about the sides of your mine collapsing, which, you know, some people do, then it's very important to use retaining walls. The problem is there's a stupid bloody tree in my way. The problem is that retaining walls in this game are not particularly intuitive. Again, I've got 11 insufficient materials. What do I not have enough of? What is going on with my concrete production? It's absolutely unacceptable. What are you even doing over here? You don't have any limestone. Why don't we have limestone? We've got plenty of limestone in there. Probably because I haven't automated this yet, because I was busy flapping my fucking gums and setting up ore sorters like a jackass. All right. So you're going to go there. You're going to go there. And how do I want to do the crossover here? What's the least painful way to do this? I guess to... Oh, stop snapping. Oh, it just doesn't work. Damn it. I'm off by one square. Story of my life. Off by one tile. Okay, so back that up. I'm well aware that I could have moved both of those at the same time. I moved one at a time so that I didn't lose my position. Nope, I'm doing this backwards. Go up. Stop auto-snapping. Oh, and now start auto-snapping again. And we found more bad guys. Fantastic. That was very expected. All right, you will be limestone, keep full, priority 5, because this is technically a kind of smelting, and you will be coal, keep full, also priority 5. Unity for the win. So much faster when you actually have construction parts available. What do these take? 30? Okay, so I don't have enough to unity this. The hell is that supposed to be? Only got 3 frickin' things going into here. Why do I have 4 storages? Probably because I copy and pasted it from another ore plant. Limestone, dirt, and rock. Got 30, 60, 90. What do these take? 2? 1. And 2. So 5. Yep, I've got enough. Unity. Go forth. Unity building is a very bad habit. I built a refinery on my other map, and this is a massive 8-lane refinery that goes into, I think, this thing is just cracking everything down to hydrogen. Like, I have a very limited production of diesel for my main ship, because you can't change that to anything else. You can change every cargo ship over to hydrogen, but you can't change your actual ship. So I have a very limited diesel production for that. Basically, I've got a tank that only outputs above a certain level, and everything else gets cracked down to fuel gas, and then fuel gas down to hydrogen. So this thing is cracking crude oil all the way down to hydrogen because I haven't unlocked fast breeder reactors yet, because you need space science for that, and I haven't even launched a rocket yet, so I have no space science. But I digress. The whole point of this story was that I built this massive 8-lane refinery on like the end of a pier, and like I sized this thing perfectly. Like, I had just enough room for these giant buses of pipes on the ends, and everything just fit perfectly. I could have weaseled in maybe a little bit more salt production out of my desalinator, but it fit like a glove. And then I went to build it and realized that the trucks couldn't get in there because there was no land for them to get out there. So I had to Unity build. This thing had to run over 10,000 friggin' CP3s. It was ridiculous. And it took for freaking ever, because the whole time my citizens were bitching about, oh, we don't have snacks, we don't have cake, we don't have rocking chairs, we're not happy, you're in negative Unity. Why the fuck are you sorting limestone? I must have copy pasted this. Copper sorting plant. And you're just complaining that you're full of dirt. Put that retaining wall in, because as you can see, I'm already starting to lose some of the dirt here. Although, actually, no, I think that's just a side effect of the construction. I was mistaken. I am starting to lose it here. So if I didn't put it in soon, I was going to start losing it. Now, because of that, we are going to... Whoops. I don't want that to be angled. I want that to be flat. I'm just going to send this guy straight out, because this corner is all secure for the time being. I don't want him to dig over here, because I might start losing my terrain here, and then it won't be pretty. And, we need everything to be pretty. That's an important thing. Let's build this one too, just to be safe. Because again, the distance that dirt will collapse from digging is just truly ridiculous sometimes. I'm hopefully going to remember, once we start building some trains on this map, I'm hopefully going to remember to put in underpasses this time, instead of putting them in after the fact, like I'm doing in my other game, and utterly fucking my map's logistics in the process, because I'm building underpasses under my rails, which means I have to shut down the rails to do this. Also, fun fact, if a rail collapses while a train is on top of it, the train is destroyed. along with everything it was carrying. So, yeah, pause your trains before you start digging under your rails. It's expensive. Just, fun tip for anybody who hasn't done stupid shit with their rail system yet. But I'm kind of going to mirror what I'm doing on that other map here because it is working fairly well. The plus side is that I am learning a shit ton about the train system in this game as I'm almost killing off my colony multiple times with it. So, problem number one with the train system in this game is that there's no priority to the traffic. All you can do is you can set... Why are my construction parts so low? What do I not have? Concrete. Why do I not have concrete? What are you people even doing over here? Make me more concrete and make it faster. So as I was saying, problem number one is there's no priority to the traffic. You can't issue a stop signal to any train anywhere at any time, short of you going in and manually pausing said train. Which, okay, technically that does work, but it's not automated. I want an automated train system that I don't have to mess with. I don't want to have to manage it. I want to set it up, and I want it to do its thing. Problem is that the train logic in the game is not there yet. Trains just got put in Update 3. They've already seen an update to station grouping, where there's now, you can set priority within a group. So if I'm picking up from one location, say I'm picking up potatoes from my farm, and for some harebrained reason I've got multiple colonies, I can set those colonies in a group, and the train logic will look for which station needs it. And then if they both need it, it will go to the one with the higher priority, is how it's built now. The initial release did not have that, and the trains would just go to whichever station was closest, which not always helpful. If you've got one, in this example, one colony much closer to the farm than the other, and they're consuming potatoes at equal rates, that if they are consuming as fast or faster than the train can deliver, then the train's never going to go to the further away colony. At that point, you need multiple trains, and it snowballs from there. So the traffic itself has no priority right now. There's no way to tell the train system at an intersection which train you want to go first. It is at this point, and I'll demonstrate this once we get trains up and running on this map, which we could speed the game up a little bit here and make that happen a little faster. I have not built that other excavator yet. Why have I not built it? What am I waiting on? I don't have enough vehicle parts, and I don't have enough vehicle parts because I don't have enough mechanical parts. Why don't I have enough mechanical parts? Because I've got iron. What are you even doing? Make shit and make it fast. That's how we do it on this island. We do shit fast. All right. I'm going to turn off my beacon at this point, because this is very close to the amount of people that will show up. And if my colony manages to breed more than 4 people in the next 9 months, I'm going to have more people than I have housing, and then I've got to build another friggin' colony. And I don't want that. I have enough people right now. If it takes them a couple of years to fill up these last 22 houses, I'm okay with that. We are starting to get low on unity here. What are you people complaining about? They want water and they want electricity. Oh, and I'm boosting a ton of shit. I suppose that would do it too. You don't... Probably don't really need to be boosted. Seems like we're keeping up fairly well. Could always upgrade the machine as well. And we are about to run low on water. So let's take the boost off of those two. We've caught up, and we are manufacturing construction parts reliably again. In fact, while we have construction parts, let's remember to go down here and build all of these stupid storages that are just sitting here waiting. So now you should be able to unload all of this iron scrap. To be honest, I don't really care about keeping that science. And the ship is able to offload. Let's see. Yeah, we can't go that far. So we can't look at those. Can we look at that one? We can. I bet there's a bad guy there. Oh, this would help if I actually assigned it something, wouldn't it? It's food, so it's priority 2. I don't know that we are actually growing enough vegetables to need it, but it did throw me that error. All right, where are we busy? Well, we've got idle trucks at the colony, and nothing idle in the factory. So, find me one of the... I think I clicked on the wrong thing. Find me one of these supposed idle trucks. You're doing nothing. Go to the factory. They need help. And my excavator has been built. Fan-freaking-tastic. Congratulations, you now work for the copper mine. Give it one more truck, because we just transferred a truck in. And someday, we will get to that copper deposit. Like if we can get... Yep, found some more bandits. No surprise there. Looks like if we can get through the next couple of squares here, we will actually hit some copper. Because right over here, it's pretty much right at the surface. And same thing with this next pillar here. So there's... I mean, you can bloody see it. I mean, there's copper right here. It's just we got to cut through the wall of dirt to get there. Let's build both of those, just because I don't like how this... And now we're out of friggin' concrete again. I don't like how this dirt is collapsing. I want my map to stay pretty. I have fairly shit luck with retaining walls. Like, I technically understand how they work. Like, it's not rocket science. Let me go into super close mode here. This red stripe on the bottom. Once that starts getting exposed, and it does go down a little bit further than this, but once that red stripe is visible, you're starting to encounter problems. And like I said, this level 5, or 5 layers down, that is the furthest you can go down. If I want to take this ramp further, which I will, what I'm going to have to do is put another wall here at what is current ground level. So where the excavator is sitting, I will have to put another wall there, and then I can go down another 5 levels. That works. The problem comes, at least with me, because I'm a moron. Why are you not... thought I Unity built that, but okay. The problem comes because I'm a moron, and you can't have a mining or dumping designation or leveling once you unlock it. I don't know if we have yet. Oh, we have. Okay. You can't have a mining or dumping designation on the same tile with a retaining wall. There is a console command you can put in to override that. However, I choose not to do that because this is the way the game is designed to work. I try not to mess with that any more than I have to. Take out that second square there. So the issue comes, like right now, this ramp that I've made is 2 blocks or 8 squares, depending on how you want to measure it, wide. That is wide enough for anything to get down here. However, small trucks and excavators only require, I think it's 3 width, 3 small tiles to get through. Mega excavators and mega trucks need 5. So even if I put a second layer of retaining walls here, technically a mega excavator or truck can still get down here, but you're getting kind of tight at that point. So had I built this with larger excavators and trucks in mind, I really should have made it 3 tiles wide just to be safe. But we're hurting for copper right now, so I'm going to use that to justify the poor decisions that current me is making, and future me will inevitably bitch about. You are supposed to be mining copper, and you're not. I haven't given you a priority, so go mine copper. So the next step we need to make here is these guys are just about to hit copper. So let's get the copper smelting array set up. We're starting to run short on time here. So we're going to copy this, because this already works. And there's no point in reinventing the wheel. Because let's face it, if I invented the wheel, not only would it probably be square, but it would also probably be covered in spikes and on fire. So, yeah. We're just going to not fuck with things that aren't broken. Put our molten channel in. I realized after I brought this over here, I could have copied the metal casters too, but I'm a dipshit. So it is what it is. Change that over to copper. Change these over to copper. That is copper, yeah, okay. And yep, we are now set up for making copper, except there's another step. Because copper has to go through electrolysis for some reason that I don't understand, because I'm not a metallurgy nerd. Copy, flip. And for some reason, I'm thinking that my spacing isn't right. Because it's not. That's why. Because OCD must be obeyed. And we're running out of maintenance. So we're going to have to hurry the fuck up with this. Got our conveyor belts in. Son of a bitch, I'm one tile, always one fucking tile off. You know what, just clear out the whole thing. If there was an award for being one tile off, guess who would win it? That's right, fucking me. Alright, so that's all designed. We now just need a water source, which will be rain collectors, because that's the only water source we have right now. And we're probably going to need more than this, but this is what we have for the time being. A little bit closer here. Put you right there. And give me pipes. Nope, I fucked it up. I know all of you are shocked by that. I in there. I in there. And what I actually put this out here for a reason, which fucked that up too, because the OCD must be obeyed and everything must be flush. All right, so what do we have? We've got almost 400 construction parts. Getting real short on time here, so let's do some... I still have no copper, because these fucks are just playing in the dirt. Where are all of my unassigned trucks? Where are you, assholes? Oh, you're doing stupid things like moving resources around. Alright. Do this real quick. Damn dirt gnats in my office again. What happens when your girlfriend is obsessed with plants? You get dirt gnats everywhere. So you are now copper, dirt, rock, and we don't have a fourth thing, so you can go away. So, dirt, rock. Let's unity that up real quick, because that will temporarily solve our ore sorter being full problem. English. It's escaping me right now. All right, so that's 30, 60, 90. Why can't I read? That's 210. 270. 330. 160. Yeah, we don't have enough. So we're just going to build half of this. Build. God damn it. Just forget I can't unity build those. Don't care about that pipe right now. You care about those. It looks like I'm going to have just enough. That. Of course, I've got this stupidly long belt on this one. All right, so our copper setup is in place, and I've got just enough left that I can do that. So now, it looks like we are finally getting some copper ore out. Fan-frickin-tastic. So, once our severely understaffed workforce, and it looks like I have the vehicle parts here. So, before I end, we're going to order another couple of trucks. Because, we're already behind on maintenance, so let's build more shit. So once our severely overworked staff brings some bloody resources over to this smelter, we will start producing some copper plates. And once we have copper plates, we will be able to make electronics. And there we go. Copper is in the chute. We just need some coal and we're good to go. So next time, we will design our electronics piece of this factory here. Probably going to look a lot like this, just, mirrored. And we'll move our maintenance up here as well so that everything is kind of self-contained. And that will allow us to basically shut down, if I can find my colony, that will allow us to basically shut down all of this here. All of this will move up to the factory. So somebody will stop wasting their time driving all of this iron down here. We will still need all of these storages here to offload the ship because it keeps bringing back random shit. But we are just about out of places to explore. So, yeah, we've got nowhere else we can go right now until we get some ship upgrades. So on the plus side, gives us 15 extra bodies if we need them. But all in all, we are in a pretty good spot. So I'm going to wrap it up here. I have been raving madly. As always, thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you next time.